and miss your faces. You stumbled upon reading through my newest book with Rosie, my emotional support dragon. We are discussing triggers and panic attacks today. That's essentially the section that we've gotten to in the book. I used to go through debilitating panic attacks where I would just try so hard, just spend so much time just essentially not puke on my shoes, because my panic, fear, and my anxiety was not even my anxiety, it was panic and fear. It was just fucking, it was bad. Oh, it was so bad. So, and I'm not there every 30 seconds anymore like I was before. So I'm going to show you what I learned there. Of course, all of this information has been, is available through my newest book, Mr. Julesish's Guide to the Call of the Void. It's volume 3 of Preflight Safety Instructions, my harm reduction, education, and empowerment series, available free online right now. Yeah, so let's fucking go. The name of the section is called Triggers Get Fucked. Okay, so essentially the best way to do is to learn how to manipulate your brain when you are safe. This way you have so much easier to be able to take back control when you are in crisis, because you've already learned these skills, right, when it matters. So the hard, fast, and bloody way is essentially to break the cycle. Okay? It's extremely shocking, but it can be and quite further traumatizing when not done properly. So please be careful, and please recognize that to be safe with yourself, right? You do what you know you can take. Don't take on something that's like 100 times your level and then end up actually puking on your shoes and making everything worse. Okay, we're going to start small. Like all things, right? In this situation, we're going to start small, so in this way it's easy to obtain. We're going to stack upon all those accomplished goals, and then this way we're going to be able to move fucking mountains, yes? Okay. So, yeah, exactly, because you've got the fucking skills, that's why. So, this is going to be an exercise in alignment with exposure therapy. Please go check out McLean, Levy, Miller, and Tolan in 2022. When I was introduced to the concept, it was called flooding. But what we're going to do is you're going to essentially and knowingly mentally expose yourself to a trigger, but you're going to do this in a safe and controlled environment. You're going to, right? That's the thing. You're going to give yourself fear and panic in a safe and controlled environment that you are never going to be able to associate and pair and generalize that fear and trigger to the environment, right? So, this exercise seeks to intellectualize as well as differentiate the chemicals from the trigger. It also gives you perspective through directly feeling how your thoughts set up your subconscious physical reactions and vice versa, so that you can regulate your actions, okay? So this is a complex subject, and I cover it again in the next chapter as well, but we cover the more neurochemical side of things, right? So right now you're going to set yourself up in an area where you feel safe and comfortable enough to express yourself. I want you to have enough to move around, all of that stuff. And we're going to start with the awesome, okay? Because there's already enough bullshit for us to deal with. We should always start with the good. Then this way, you got enough to buffer and enough resilience to be able to take on that bullshit that is just flying. So, you're going to crank your favorite music, preferably a tune that reminds you of an extremely happy memory, and I want you to stretch big. Personally, I highly recommend any on that. The only thing, basically you're going to stretch as big as you can, and even if the only thing that you can stretch is your sanity, okay? I want you to think about all of the awesome, concentrate only on the fantastic, feel the music wash all over every cell of your body, and stretch, bitch. Stretch, bitch. Whoa. Stretch hard. I want you to dance, and I want you to move like absolutely no one's watching. And have you ever tried it? It's highly recommended, but you have to give yourself tons of space. I want you to remove all social inhibitions and start dancing. Start moving. I prefer dancing with my eyes closed, but at the same time, I regularly run into shit, so I'm used to it. And no one is going to judge you for how you creatively express yourself, and essentially fuck those who do. Right? Dancing releases dopamine, norepinephrine, endorphins, as well as oxytocin, and exercising every muscle. Okay? All do your favorite music. Once that physical expression is over, sit in silence and take stock of the depth of your smile. Okay. Like seriously, like take 3 seconds and feel all of it, okay? Like you got your adrenaline going, you got all this happy, you're reminded about all this awesome, as well as you got like all of the increased like the oxytocin and the adrenaline and all that, the endorphins from exercising, releasing that euphoria right from stretching all your muscles and all that stuff. So you got all this good stuff going through your system right now, which is fantastic. Remember, you turn all of that on with a memory. Okay, this is the catalyst of the whole situation. It's the fact that you turn all of this on with a memory. Okay, so now essentially you're going to come right back down to baseline. You're gonna calm your ass down as far as you can. And you're just going to breathe really deeply, and you're going to come right down. Okay, now here's where you're going to expose yourself to a mild trigger, allowing yourself to feel danger briefly. Extremely briefly, okay? You're gonna have to pull yourself out of this, so that's why I remind yourself to. This exposure should be brief. So then this way, this is all about you starting small, so that's something that you can control and stack achieved accomplishments. Okay, so and essentially so you don't puke. You should feel a similar rush of adrenaline as well as the desire to run before you even step onto this ride. So make sure you read the instructions before you start operating heavy machinery. Okay. In this situation, I want you to acknowledge your panic, your fear, as well as your freeze reaction as natural responses, okay? I also actively recognize that you are not in danger. You are not in danger. You are safe and you are loved. So you're breathing, walk through all of your physical feels, everything that happened, right, when you encountered that trigger. So, like, right? You're automatically not thinking about your trigger anymore. That's completely removed from the situation. You've already recognized that everything is bitchin' and you are more awesome than you even know. Okay? But you recognize that just by that thought, your heart started racing, your blood pressure skyrocketed, your breathing sped up, your mind started spiraling, and now it wants to keep going. Now your brain wants to keep going. Your heart wants to keep racing. You've got all this adrenaline and this cortisol going through your system that it's just like okay, let's fucking go, right? Where it's like, but at the same time, your muscles are tight, but you're essentially like now everything is threatening. Everything that you see, even the neutral shit, is going to be seen as negative, right? So now you're essentially, you want to be able to react like a cornered honey badger, but you can't. Instead, you can barely breathe, and you're concentrating on not choking on your own tongue, like I am right now. This essentially is all just chemicals making your electric meatball explode. Okay, this is no threat. There is no threat whatsoever. This is just a memory that you allowed yourself to feel, that you didn't repress anymore, right? So all of those feels that you just experienced were caused by that teeniest bit of epinephrine, and it's totally understood, right? So, but you have to recognize that you have the ability to shut that shit down immediately. Shut that shit down right now. Recognize it's just chemistry. It is just chemistry, okay? So you are the one that's in control here. You've just essentially been conditioned otherwise. That's what I mean about unlearning, right? So start touching things on yourself, whether it's your brain or and start recognizing the speed of your heartbeat. You take 3 seconds. I want you to close your eyes and start reminding yourself that there's no threat. Okay? I need you to change how you view that trigger in real time. Okay? Right now, it's not near you. Okay? So you have to be able to now separate how your heart is racing in real time. Okay? And this is how you're going to change the association between the trigger and the fear. And this is van der Kolk in 2006. Okay? I want you to stand up straight with your shoulders held back and your head held high. So is there even a chance of the threat presenting itself right now? No? And even if there was, you know that you would cut a bitch. Yes? Fuck yes. Okay, essentially the end goal is to break yourself free from that freeze response. Which is van der Kolk again in 2006. And so this threat is now a challenge that you will overcome, right? This is no longer a threat, it's a challenge. You have the skills and resources to be able to do this.